the culmination of the International Darts Open. 4 Euro Tour events this year in a truncated season. We've seen victories for the Welsh #1, the South African #1 and the Portuguese #1. But unless that man in the green wins this game and 2 more tonight, we will not see the world #1 pick up a European Tour title this year. It would be the first year since 2012 that has happened. You know, we're going to have a 4th different nationality represented in the winner's circle on the European Tour. But from what we've seen of late, mighty Michael van Gerwen may not even be the most likely Dutch winner tonight. We have a star-studded lineup. MVG taking on one of the most successful players in the history of the sport, James Wade. We've got the Polish #1 and the Austrian #1 fighting out. We've got Ross Smith, an unseeded player, against
first
Joe
leg,
Cullen.
Michael to throw first. Game on!
Michael Smith, a former champion here in Riesa, will take on Danny Noppert. But we start with a world #1, MVG, with a point to prove, against
60.
James Wade, looking for a 3rd Euro Tour title. I'm Dan Dawson. Paul Nicholson is alongside me for what promises to be a fascinating night of darts.
Yeah, well said, Dan.
121.
A very interesting game here because James did a very professional job earlier when he took out Nathan Aspinall.
84.
A great revenge win against Nathan after losing to him 6-2 last Sunday. He got the 6-2 this time. But I think this game, I don't know if you agree with me, it's all about what Michael does.
32.
I'm just intrigued to see if he continues how he played earlier.
$57.
Same problems, coming up short.
Yeah, it's puzzling watching MVG play in this manner. James Wade, by contrast, has been
93.
very Wade-like. Solid performance in the end after a slow start to see off Andreas Harrison, the Swedish qualifier. And then
58.
very good against Nathan Aspinall this afternoon. He's only dropped 5 legs so far this weekend. Van Gerwen had to survive a match dart from Andy Hamilton. Now Hammer only averaged 81 and still nearly beat
60.
Yeah, Mr. Bull for the win. James Wade has been through some tough times in his career.
99. Lads, best of order, please.
Maybe looking at a possible tough time for MVG, but the one thing that James has done is
100.
answer his critics
Michael
very
require
well, very
143.
quickly. Admitted from the Premier League a couple of times, and when that has happened, he's had a good season.
Oh, hello.
Getting shot.
Michael van Gerwen, 1-4-3 check out in the opening leg. He might have needed it to hold his throw and rescue that one, but it is a sign of life from the world #1.
I think that's the hardest check out on the board.
21.
I think I've said that before, because you've got to go north, south to the right, then all the way across to double 16. I think it's a tremendously difficult shot, and it is a statement of intent. He can keep hitting shots like that. Fair play, but you were looking at this earlier with Chris. The
140.
concern is not that, it's the scoring.
Yeah, his scoring has been nowhere near, and he's having to take out
93.
shots like that. That's still only an 18 dart leg there for Michael van Gerwen. That was his highest scoring visit in the leg.
121.
There's a few exuberant fans out there this evening, isn't there, Dan?
Sounds like him. Don't have many in tonight. We are restricted in the number of fans
94.
we're allowed.
James require
It's the
119.
situation we all find ourselves in.
62 left.
Beautiful
Game shot in the
start.
second leg.
19
James
check
Wade,
out.
third leg.
2 legs
Michael
in.
Cooper.
2 combo finishes. A tricky one, that 119.
It sounded like a very famous Norfolk
139.
turkey brand there. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Send for Darren Webster if you want it done properly.
100.
James Wade has beaten Van Gerwen on a number of occasions, but he has lost the last 5.
96.
In terms of beating him in a ranking event, it is a long while. He's beaten him in the Premier League, not ranked. beat him in the World Series. Had a great game in Las Vegas to beat him.
26.
Back in 2018. But you've got to go back to the last time that Wade won a Euro Tour. 2016
96.
in Hamburg. For the last time James Wade beat Michael van Gerwen in a ranking event, beat him in the semi-final.
Long time ago. And the fact that he's only got 2 European Tour titles
100.
is a little bit of a mystery. The other one was in Gibraltar.
Mark, we require 170.
Had a crack at this so earlier on. Going to take
134.
much better leg for him.
Yes, it is. This is where you want that 36 in 1.
105. Mark, we require
Makes yourself feel
36.
really good about what's going to happen next.
Game shown
Possibly
in the
14
third leg.
darts he will take.
Mando in
There's
full
an
play,
improvement
James, the full play.
on not just the previous winning leg, but on what he was doing earlier against Andy Hamilton.
41.
It's chalk and cheese at the moment, but let's see if MVG can keep this going, because he might.
One
In his regular environs of a final session on the Euro Tour, it might drag something out of him. It's fair to say
100. Let's
work
best
like
of order, please.
last week in Sindelfingen. Doesn't gain now that
134.
MVG hasn't averaged over 100, but he is doing right now.
Fascinating that he hasn't won a
140.
Euro. Well, yeah, last year he didn't win a Euro Tour. It was 2012. That was the first year of the Euro Tour. Very interesting year where
43.
the only Euro Tour win for Adrian Lewis. And there was a win in that season for Justin Pipe,
Yep.
Simon Whitlock.
60. Mark, we require 144.
144 required for a break. Oh. Oh, Michael. He's back.
Game shot on
He's
full
back.
play.
And he's playing proper stuff.
Let Michael to throw first. Game on.
Somebody's woken up the beast. He likes a 145, doesn't he? So he might go for the set.
59.
He is working very, very hard right now. There are times when Michael van Gerwen has played this beautiful game and
140.
made it look simple. He could just canter to European Tour titles, but right now he is grafting.
100.
What's changed?
I think he might have put in some reps today. Ordinarily, when he's playing first game of the day,
100.
tell and probably come back here maybe 90 minutes before 7 o'clock start. He might have come back a bit early and put in a few extra practices.
145.
This morning, who was he practicing with? James Wade. Walked in the building this morning at around 11:30.
105.
Astounded to
Mark,
see
we
that
require
Wade and MVG were
117.
practicing together because they could possibly play each other as early as the quarters.
29.
Miss.
James require 156.
Hasn't been hurt by that miss, but he wanted something less than 88.
60.
This game is creeping away
Michael,
from
we
James
require
right now.
88.
We'll do more of that if this 88 is gone.
18 segment. Bullseye.
Game
Michael
shot on
van
the fifth
Gerwen
leg.
is playing better than he has played in weeks
Sixth leg,
and
James
weeks
to throw
and
first.
weeks.
Game on.
We love a bullseye that's nowhere near the coast. That one was landlocked, right in the middle. That was the Switzerland of bullseyes.
140. $134.
Well, it's good on the doubles for James, but he needs more shots. But look at that from Michael. 80%.
140.
That is huge. mentioned earlier, it's a crisis.
137.
Quoting Edmund Blackadder in doing so. Well, this is how you answer what I said. 105 average, that'll cut it.
140.
110 first 9, that's encouraging.
$100. James
Very,
require
very encouraging for
81.
MVG fans. James Wade 81 to get his second leg on the board. Has to go 12s now. Now double 13.
55.
Find him over that corner very
Michael,
often.
you require 130.
This would be a crippler.
$92.
Focus tonight
James
as well.
require 26.
It's good to see because sometimes Michael can get a bit bored when he gets a big lead.
Game
Well,
shot, the
that's a really
sixth
fine
leg.
dart from
James
James.
Wade, seventh leg. Michael the fourth leg.
Recognised that going towards the top of double 13 wasn't working, so went for the open portion at the bottom.
25.
Bit of arm wafting by MVG, that's curious.
Score 25 just opens the door.
100.
James Wade to steal a march on him here. If you get a breaker throw, then hold, we've got a level game at 4-all.
140.
It's just, he was looking genuinely confused earlier on today when he had that slog
45.
with Andy Hamilton. He said after the match that he basically accused Andy of trying every trick in the book, of trying to mess with him. Well, I didn't see much of that. He's not quick, but
100.
the problem is when things are going wrong in your own game. Michael van Gerwen for many years, if he loses matches or he doesn't play well, he just holds his hand and goes, it's down to me. I didn't play well enough. But he's not been playing like he has done recently. And that's when you start looking around for other things to put the blame on, because you don't want to erode that little nugget of self-confidence that drives you on, that makes you believe that you can go and win games.
80.
I'm sure it must have taken a battering over recent weeks and months. He's only won 4 titles this year.
Questionably.
For normal players, that's great, but
60.
Michael van Gerwen isn't.
Michael, you require
That's how many
156.
titles I did win. There's a bit of perspective for you.
Oh, very nearly
120.
third massive combo
James, you
finish.
require 156.
Growing. Micron by micron. And we'll be back for 36.
140. Michael require 36.
Double 18. To deny Wade a shot at double 8.
Game
Great
shot, the
double
seventh
nine,
leg.
right in
Michael
the heart.
Van eighth leg.
Right
James
to Van
the
Gerwen.
fifth
And
leg.
I said earlier, Dan, that I thought Wade was the favourite for this game based on form, but I've got to give MVG some props here because he's turned up.
Absolutely. Michael van Gerwen
100.
deserves an enormous amount of credit, because it's one thing when you're playing poorly. It's another thing when you're playing poorly and you realise everybody's looking at you. But when you're Michael van Gerwen, you've been
83.
a dominant force in this sport, and for once you find yourself being questioned, then that is very difficult to deal with, I would imagine.
MVG was to
140.
win this title today. Have a very interesting interview later. There's plenty of meat on that bone. It's not exactly a quote from James
123.
Wade, but the 97 average, which is the usual 4 or 5 below his opponent, it's just not cutting it right now because Van Gerwen has been good at the end of the legs. He's been taking his shots.
That's very good from James Wade. It's not over just yet, but just looks more likely. This will be the first time he
James
averaged over
require
100 in
81.
a dozen games.
42 now.
Oh.
Oh, he's gone double 13 again.
Game
Curious.
shot in the eighth leg.
But effective.
James Wade, ninth leg.
Maybe he
Michael
wasn't
to
aware
fifth
of
leg.
where Michael was sitting. He didn't look at the opposing score. Now Michael has to close this out. That's a
131.
really nice start. Game after this, I will be watching on very closely. One of
81.
my favourite matches to watch. The Central European heavyweight clash between Ratajski and Sudovic.
Yeah, the winner of that faces the winner of this. At the moment, it looks like it will be Michael van Gerwen.
59.
cannot discount James Wade. He can find a way to break.
100.
The expression of James there is saying that it's just not getting there. It's not getting enough.
95.
See what Michael was trying to do there, the 171 to leave 140. Likes to try and take the 1 off the end of the score by using the 19s as opposed to
60.
staying up top. He's very flexible when it comes to the use of the board. He's not a full-on Madas Razma.
140.
You mentioned him looking focused. We've certainly not seen him make any silly errors on the counting, which is something we've seen him do a fair few times in recent weeks.
That was needed, but it's still out of his hands. Michael goes for 76 in the win.
Double eight.
Game.
Michael
Shot.
van Gerwen has sent a very loud message out that he will not poodle around